Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Danganronpa 2 with me, Phantom Zwei. So, when last left off, we were in the middle of kind of learning about the tragedy of Hope's Peak and the tragedy, potentially outside of Hope's Peak. I imagine we'll learn more about that eventually, but who knows? Anyway, let's keep exploring. We just finished looking at that manga about the tragedy. What have we got to look at now? Okay, so we looked at that classroom. We can't go in here. Okay. We already went to the dojo, didn't we? It's been a couple days, but I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we gotta go around here. Say here. Whoops. Oh, jeez. That's my overlay. Of the... I wonder if that shows up. That does not show up on the video. I accidentally pulled up my Steam overlay. Anyway, the biolab. We couldn't enter here earlier, I'm pretty sure. But now we can. What the hell is with this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Okay. Let's take a look at the tarp. Looks like a plastic tarp. Why is this left out like this? Clean up after yourselves, will you? Oh, there's a hidden Monokuma down there. I've seen this in movies before. It's a refrigerator for preserving dead bodies. At least that's what it looks like. But that's not possible, right? Keeping dead bodies in a high school biolab isn't something you should joke about. It just feels so forced. This idea should have been cancelled during development or something. What am I thinking? Hi there, Monokuma. Gotcha. Another set of monocoins. Alright, let's take a look at the book. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped I was right. Story about creepily drawn characters who got involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. And, is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and various people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet, and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction had become their only goal. The strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them. And soon, the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear. As if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. That's definitely messed up. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etats began occurring around the world, a war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain. Just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. I mean, the way this is told, it seems self-aware that, like, this is nonsensical. Like, this should not have happened. So I hope that the series eventually touches on the fact, or, you know, the idea that this just doesn't make a lot of sense, and it has an explanation for it. Because if it's just like, hey, the Reserve Corps students rioted, and then the entire world got wrapped up in it, and the end. And the world was destroyed. It's kind of lame. But, you know, I mean, who knows? You can consider it just a, you know, a backdrop for what happens in the games, you know, to set the scene. But you kind of do hope for a better explanation than, you know, this. But again, this is also being told by Monokuma, so who knows exactly, you know, if what we're hearing. He isn't going to lie outright in this. He said so himself. But he is more than happy to cover up, you know, certain facets of the truth and such. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they use them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society use their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Okay, well, we're getting a, you know, more thorough explanation here. I mean, what is it, like brainwashing, subliminal messaging? You know, I wonder how they did it. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. The tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them? Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this? Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't eat candy. Enough! What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you to not remember that, such despair. That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has been completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible. I'm sorry if the mic volume is a little too high here. I'm seeing the bar, and it seems like it's fluctuating a lot. I did some tweaking because I thought the volume of the videos was too low, but I might have overcompensated. So if that is the case for this episode, I apologize. I'll try to fix it more after the episode's done, if that is the case. I'll have to go back and listen. How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see. So that's how it is. That's what he meant when, by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate. But on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair towards the outside world, so that we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps... no, that's definitely it. Alright, so we got another truth bullet. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then, are the killings we're involved in connected to them all as well? It's no use, I'm gonna freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I gotta get out of here. Shivering, I ran out of the freezing room. That was close. I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Alright. It doesn't... Is this open now? No. Where should we go? Are the stairs open? The stairs are not open. Is this room open? I don't think I missed anything over here. Haven't I been to both these rooms? Double check them. No, I should ignore it. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see him. When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He was glancing at me. Wonder why. It's gonna be shitty either way. So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either. But hello.
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right?
What are you doing here?
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. Tee, I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
You should have done that from the beginning. I don't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots.
I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up, what did you want to tell me?
It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for.
Oh, about his school memories?
Surprise! It's about the ultimate despair.
Huh?
Ahem. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
Junko Enoshima, right? High school girl.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Sure enough. Junko Enoshima. Wasn't Mukuro considered a part of the ultimate despair even back then, though? I thought they were like called the despair twins or sisters or something like that. As for the former ultimate despair,
She created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. There was one really horrible person in that group.
hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it. That holds true for Lady Junko.
You know, considering how a lot of people are eager to join cults and stuff, totally am with that.
With her charismatic ability to attract people,
She even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. That might be a little weird. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat. Then what was the purpose? What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose. It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Huh? For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving. For her, everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs, one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so, the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was all dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so that they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something that crazy is possible. Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days? Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the Reserve Department? They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide? All 2,357 students? Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded, huh? Is that me? I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair. Junko Enoshima. Doesn't scare me at all. I mean, Junko Enoshima is already dead. Damn straight she is. Huh? Ultimate despair has been added to the Truth Bullet section of the handbook. The Reserve Department has been updated. Okay. What a surprise! Do you want to hear about the Ultimate Despairs again? No, I don't really need you to. Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days, it was actually a term used to describe blah 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 blah. He just started on his own. I'm not going to listen to all this. Okay, good. They did cut it off there. Fuyuhiko. Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima is really dead? Huh? What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. A bloody classroom? No, wait. What was it you said about the killing school life? The killings we were involved in, or rather this is Hajime, like the killings we were involved in, there were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her. Yeah, that's what it was. The killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy. For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn by with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, The mastermind behind the failed Killing School life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead. Turns out that Killing School life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. The former students of Hope's Peak Academy. And she took away their memories. It's just like us. Apparently the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing? The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up. But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the student she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. And then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not, doesn't matter. Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who is our enemy? The ultimate despairs? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of the ultimate despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that Killing School life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through with this, but... an imitation is just that, an imitation. If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. If this really is an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the Killing School life? Killing School life has been added to the truth bullets of the handbook. Alright. And updated the ultimate despair, right? Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What, do you have a problem with that? Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took the time to draw it. Oh well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? What do you mean, raise the flag? What's going to happen if you do that? One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character's route. You're not making sense again. Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy. Okay, so I guess we're talking to Monokuma again? Oh, nope, never mind. Ultimate Despair, Charismatic Ability, Connections... I keep explaining, it's fine already, I'm just getting to the good part. I've heard this before, yes, okay. We are out of here. Where are we headed? Ah, there's Akane. Huh? It changed to a different hallway again. So sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? This is the 4th floor, I believe. No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Okay. So, we are heading to, what is this, the headmaster's room? I don't remember. Oh, we can't go in there, even though it's kind of lit up. In that case, the piano room? Well, first we should talk to Akane, I guess. Akane's twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Hey, what happened? Oh, you know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. Huh? What do you mean? Who? I don't know, it's just my gut after all. But still, her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time. Main cast. Are we gonna see some of the original cast from Danganronpa 1? That would be bad freaking ass. But we'll see. I have to assume that's the Future Foundation, right? Or at least, like, they're part of the Future Foundation. Okay, that's different. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Yes, you can. It looks like some kind of monument. Oh, excuse me. Maybe on. Why would there be a monument in the music room? And not just that, the mark engraved into the monument is a symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that, the symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. So they are. The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy? Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma. He completely made it up. Future Foundation's origins has been added. Okay. Anything else I should look at? Let's go to the piano. Very nice looking grand piano. It might be very valuable. Ibuki might have been able to play this. Ibuki. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report you gave the other day, or we gave you the other day, we have obtained information a person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst-case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. Also, if they are survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope's Peak Academy? That has to refer to all of us, right? Because we're not a part of the Future Foundation, and I have to assume this is an email sent by the Future Foundation. So the 15, or really 16, because Chiaki, was sent by the Future Foundation, right? So the 15 others were people who survived from Hope's Peak, and that includes Hajime from the Reserve Department. Has to be my assumption. We'll see. 15 students? Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the... Well, he's just putting it all together. Who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but... What does survivors mean? It's like they're talking about from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore. Maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Hope High School. The Academy's survivors has been added to the Truth Bullet section of the handbook. I guess that's all the clues in this room. It's finally confirmed. The Future Foundation is on our side, at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy, and they took us in to protect us. But if that's true, Chiaki should have made that clear to us. As long as Monokuma was around. Excuse me. She probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma. If he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko and Oshima are making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in the email too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in the email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, There should be other future Foundation members here. Somehow, there are still so many mysteries. Interesting. Alright. Did that happen to open up this room? It sure did. What's this? Did that say Teacher's Lounge? Office. Alrighty. I remember this place. Kazuichi. This feels different from a classroom. It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind of has a stuffy teacher vibe to it. That's an awful lot of potted plants, though. The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that.
Yeah.
More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. Hang on one second here. I'm going to turn down the game volume just a touch, because it seems like it's really loud. Sorry about the volume hijinks in this episode. It might be kind of all over the place. I thought I had a decent balance, but now I'm not so sure. Alright, let's continue. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already. Seriously. Hologram. There are letters floating in the air, like the music room from earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same one from earlier. I guess I should read it. We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they have lost Junko Enoshima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy has not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko Enoshima. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future. Immediately eliminated? Does that mean this is an order to kill them? That doesn't sound peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all that war. If the remnants of despair are the ones waging that war, there's no way they'd be forgiven that easily. Remnants of Despair has been added to the Truth Bullet section of the handbook. Anything new to say? Hey, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. Damn it, I'm really worried. What if something happens to me and Miss Sonia isn't looking? This guy is so useless sometimes. I think you mean all the time. Except for when the elevator broke. That was like his one moment of not being useless. Flowers on top of the desk. Plus, they look strange to me. Are my eyes just tired? List of subjects. There's something written on the blackboard. What's written here? Oh, that's everybody's names. List of subjects is written on the blackboard in large letters. Just below that. Wait a second. That picture... That's Hiyoko, but it looks nothing like Hiyoko. She's way taller. Their names I've seen before. What the fuck? Does that mean Hiyoko wasn't really Hiyoko? There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard. Below that, Hiyoko Sayonji is written there. What is this newspaper? What is this? It says Miss Hiyoko Sayonji. That can't mean the same Hiyoko, right? I mean, the Hiyoko we knew. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. But the photo in this newspaper... In a way, I can see the resemblance to Hiyoko, but her height and figure... It's too different from the Hiyoko we knew. What does this mean?
What?
Oh man, it's just like... Is it like the swap with Mukuro and Junko and all that? This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hiyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hiyoko Sayonji here. Oh, then Hiyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. An older sister with the same first and last name? That's the only explanation, right? I mean, look at it for yourself. That's not Hiyoko. But did you ever hear her mention an older sister? Well, it's not like I was that close to her or anything. She doesn't have an older sister. Hiyoko is the Sayonji family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative? No, there's still too much of a resemblance. That's Hiyoko. Huh? What are you saying? Hiyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt? What do you say? She's already dead. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt. Well, regardless, all the clues I provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair. What the heck? This is the truth? If that's the truth, then the Hiyoko in this newspaper. Is he really saying this is the same person? That's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hiyoko when she's already dead? Why? Why does this even exist? Could it be related to that list of subjects over there? Huh? It says subjects. Maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did that experiment change Hiyoko's body? Yo, what am I saying? Just saying out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? I mean, our names are also written on the blackboard under that list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it? What's going on? It better not have anything to do with time travel. What the hell is going on? The list of subjects has been added to the truth bullet section of the handbook. What the frickin' crap is happening? An extremely overwhelming portrait is hanging on the wall. I feel like I've seen it before, but the name etched into the placard says, Post Peak Academy founder, Izuru Kamakura? That's the name of the Ultimate Hope. But I thought he was a student. What? Because he was the Ultimate Hope. And he's the guy who was killed. And then that's what spurred, or rather I should say he killed some of the other students, right? And that's what spurred the Reserve Corps students into the tragedy of Post Peak Academy. Right? I think that's right. It's been a couple days, but still. The founder of Post Peak Academy. And this name, Izuru Kamakura. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Damn it, another mystery. The Academy's founder has been added to the truth bullet section of the handbook. Okay, with this you've totally raised all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Hajime. You shall now go on to the next stage. Next stage? Oh man, there's more. Good God. Damn it, not again. The hallway is different from last time. I guess when the flag Monokuma mentioned is raised, I moved to a different hallway than the last. But how can he do that? No, now's not the time to be confused by that. Not only that, but Fuyuhiko had gone to that bloody classroom, which I think is on the floor where we are now, if I remember correctly, because I think this is the second floor of the dorms. I'm pretty sure that it had, white walls and all. Now's not the time to be confused by that. Thinking about it is just going to waste my energy. Or am I wrong? This is the art room? Yeah, okay, never mind. This is the third floor. I'm totally wrong. And this should be the rec room. Because this is where Celeste was quote-unquote attacked by Robo-Justice in Danganronpa 1. I've actually been watching a YouTuber's, playing through Danganronpa 1, and he's actually around this part when I'm recording this, so I remember it quite well. There's a billiard table, a dartboard, and a shelf lined with magazines. It's hard to think a room like this actually exists inside a school. That's certainly unique. Experiment. Are we really in some kind of simulation? And that would mean that, like, no one is actually dead? Because at least Hiyoko would have to still be alive if this is some kind of simulation, because he showed us a newspaper clipping. I mean, I'm saying that because of all the, like, glitches and, computerish sort of code effects and all we're seeing, but I don't know. Who knows, man? This hologram again? What's this one say? It looks like another email passage. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have finally succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. Though they were all dispersed, we were successful in acquiring all 15 of them. Due to the fact that we were unable to ask them about specific details, it's unknown how they managed to survive the tragedy. It's been reported that some are wounded, so it seems certain that they survived under harsh conditions. Over the course of our detailed investigation, we determined that they are the same age as the others. So we have decided to entrust them to the survivors of the killing school life. As for the remnants of despair, there are no solid leads regarding this matter, and we have no new information to report. We will continue with the investigation. Once they are discovered, we shall eliminate them immediately. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. Remnants of despair have been added to the handbook. Or rather, have been updated, I think. Yeah. It says here they succeeded in acquiring them and have placed them in our care. That means we should have been protected by the Future Foundation, right? Then why is this happening? If the Future Foundation was protecting us, why were we forced to kill each other on this island? Well, I guess it's not possible that the Future Foundation set all this up. My, Hajime, if you keep worrying like that, you're gonna get a toothache and collapse. It's your fault. What is this hologram thing anyway? It's exactly what it looks like. They're the Future Foundation's emails. I thought they made the perfect clue, so I did a little bit of hacking here and there to get them. You can even do that? Whoever's controlling you seems to possess many talents. Well, who cares about me anyway? That's not important at all. Yeah, sure. There's no way that's not important. His true identity should connect everything to what's happening right now. Okay. Okay, so that's a file. It's like Hope's Peak Academy. File with Hope's Peak Academy seal on it. It says confidential. That means this is a big secret, right? Why would an important document be here? Why am I even asking a question like that? Obviously, Monokuma is responsible. Anyway, I need to confirm what's inside the file. About the Hope Cultivation Plan. For many years, Hope's Peak Academy has conducted rigorous research into various talents. The Hope Cultivation Plan seeks to use the fruits of our labor to further our true goal. With our hands, we will birth a true hope that will bring hope to the entire world. Truly, the program is the next innovation in providing the ultimate education. This plan has been the Academy's wish since its foundation, so we must succeed at all costs. What followed was a series of detailed instructions and intricate orders. It's rather full of difficult technical terms, and I had no idea what any of them meant. However, the word true hope left a strong impression in my mind for some reason. The Hope Cultivation Plan was created for the sake of birthing true hope. Hope's Peak Academy was behind something like that. I don't really get it, but there's something about these words. True hope, huh? Hope cultivation plan has been added to the triplet section of the handbook. Okay, some magazines. There's a lot of different magazines here. Fashion, motorcycles, martial arts, sports, computer, travel. There's even a magazine about cameras. Mahiru would have been happy to see this. Oops. We just read that. My fault. And yeah, okay. That should be it for this room. Oh god. Looks like I'm in a different hallway again. I'm pretty much used to it by now, but even so... What is this space? Am I dreaming or something? I mean, this is just totally disconnected from reality. This is disorienting as hell. Oh god. Hi, Akane. It's close. It's very close. Someone is coming. Akane's twitching her nose and examining her surroundings. They're definitely real close. At least that's what my gut is telling me. Then answer this with your gut. Is it an enemy or an ally? Let's see. My gut feeling is... they're both. He's right. They're both. Both? What do you mean? I don't know any details. It's just my gut after all. Well, that's true, I guess. Okay. I guess we're going here. This is the library, yeah. Alright, let's check what's in here, and that will be the end of today's episode, I think. This must be a library. Monokuma probably left something here, too. I should hurry up and find it. Okay, this email, and then we could probably go into the back room. This hologram again. It must be another of the Future Foundation's emails. I should read it. There's no doubt it's another clue. To Future Foundation 14th Division, Makoto Naegi. Oh, Makoto. Hell yeah. Where are you guys? What are you doing right now? What you're doing is a serious act of treason. Do you understand? Why are you protecting the remnants of despair? It should be abundantly clear to you how dangerous it is to keep these people alive. Stay calm and think about this carefully. You guys are being lied to. Think carefully about what's important to bring the light of hope to the world. The 6 of you joined the Future Foundation because you agreed with our ideals, right? The Future Foundation rescued you from the tragedy you survived and cooperated with recovering your memories. Immediately return the remnants of despair to our headquarters. Unless we eliminate them, the tragedy will never end. Everything is for the sake of a future filled with hope. What does this mean? This email suggests that someone was trying to let the remnants of despair escape. This email is addressed to Makoto Naegi. But he's with the Future Foundation, right? Then why was he trying to protect the remnants of despair? Did he betray the Future Foundation? One thing's for sure. If it's Makoto, he's doing the right thing. Remnants of Despair have been updated in the handbook. Alright. Okay, I can't go to the back room, so that's all there is here to see, it seems. And that was actually quite short, so let's see what happens outside. Okay, looks like we can go to this classroom down here. Well. Oh, this is the laundry room. Huh? Didn't I walk into a classroom? I don't really get it, but, this looks like the laundry room. There's no use worrying about it, but I was in a school and now I'm suddenly in a laundry room. You're attached to the dorms now. What's this? This looks like a tablet computer. It looks like the power is on, too. Is this the next clue? There's a magazine with Junko's face on it right there, too. I picked up the tablet and immediately started examining it. Neo World Program, top secret, confidential. This word, Neo World. I seem to recall hearing it and seeing it a few times already. The Neo World Program has another name. Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator. Psychotherapeutic Communication Simulator, huh? Simulator is the key word that I'm lashing onto there. So what have I been saying it seems like we might be in? Simulation. The Neo World Program is built with the most recent psychotherapy technology and administrative software. To develop the Neo World Program, individuals such as the ultimate programmer, the ultimate neurologist, and the ultimate therapist, the ultimate programmer is Chihiro, were among the many talented people whose research results were utilized. Results, not that they actually participated in it, which makes a lot of sense because Chihiro's dead. By mounting a device to the cranium, the Neo World Program allows its subjects to experience a synthetic virtual world. Additionally, the Neo World Program has another feature. It can replace memories found in the real world with information contained in the synthetic virtual world. Therefore, it's possible to undo trauma sustained in the real world through use of the virtual world. However, this device is for psychotherapeutic purposes only. Any other use is expressly forbidden. Which is why Usami, with the Future Foundation's help, was originally here with all of us to try to help us collect hope fragments. It was in order to help us overcome the trauma of the tragedy, right? And then see if those results carried over when we went back to the real world, probably. I assume something like that. But somehow, the Ultimate Despairs got into the Neo World Program, or the psychotherapeutic, whatever you call it, simulator that we're in, with Monokuma, and somehow started interfering with the simulation, and instead in the simulation started having us all kill each other, right? That has to be it, right? Though it's highly effective in treating brainwashing, abusing the device risks total personality destruction. Oh, that sounds real bad. Thus, extreme care must be exercised when operating this program. So everyone who's dead might really be in bad shape. Slowly, everything around me turned black. Synthetic virtual world? Program. A feeling of emptiness, like everything is being tainted. A feeling of weakness, like the world is collapsing beneath my feet. Everything is starting to feel meaningless. The desperate attempts, the sad goodbyes, the conflicts, the trust I felt until now. It's all disappearing until all I feel is despair. I screamed loudly as if I was confirming the sound of my own voice. There's no way I can accept this. I'm starting to accept that there's no way. Something as crazy as this actually exists. You gotta raise the flags more in order to clear my character route. Now then, despair is waiting for you. Impossible. This is impossible. It's all made up. Everything is all made up. Made up. Including me too. Neo World Program has been added to the Truth Bullet section of the handbook. Alright guys. Woo! We sure hit some revelations today. Very, very interesting. And all the overlap with Danganronpa 1 has given me a complete nerdgasm here. I'm very anxious to see where this all goes. So as always, thank you guys very much for watching. And I will see you all next time.